Hello YouTube, it's MM's Gaming. In this video I'm going to show you how to implement the universal render pipeline in Unity in a new project or an existing project. We're just going to create a new 3D core project, and I'm using Unity 2022.3.2 F1. Already have this project created. Once your project loads up, I'm going to create a folder to hold the settings for our universal render pipeline. And then I'm going to go to Window, Package Manager. We need to install the package. This can be found in the Unity registry. And then scroll down to Universal RP. The universal render pipeline is better for games that are more performance. You want more performance out of them, but you also want them to look good. So not like really realistic graphics, but like a low poly game looks really well on it. Even some more realistic games can use universal render pipeline if they're trying to get more performance out of it. And if you're a beginner in Unity, I highly suggest the universal render pipeline. There's the universal render pipeline, the high definition render pipeline, which is for realistic games, AAA games. And there's the built-in, which is what your 3D core project starts with. And then there's also the scriptable render pipeline, which is like a custom one. But if you're a new beginner to Unity, I suggest the universal render pipeline. And now that that has downloaded, we're going to close the package manager. And now we're going to create our universal render pipeline asset. So right click in your project folder at the bottom, inside our settings folder we created, click on create, scroll down to rendering, and we want the URP asset with universal renderer. And you can hit enter or you can give it a name. It's going to give you two files here. And you can go through this file and change some of the settings if you want to. So if you want to enable anti-aliasing, HDR, disable HDR, and change the lighting, how many objects are affected by a per pixel light, or change it from per pixel to per vertex, or disable additional lighting. You can also mess with the shadows, add more cascade counts. So the farther away you get from an object, it is better for performance that way. And there's also some post-processing options. Once we have that created, I'm not going to change any settings. We're just going to apply this. I'm going to create an empty game object so you could see what happens if you have an object in your scene when you apply this. So we have our cube, and now we need to apply our assets. We're going to go to Edit, Project Settings, into the Graphic Settings, and we need to assign a scriptable render pipeline. And that's what this warning message is saying as well. So you could just drag and drop the one we created from the settings folder, or you can click on the circle here and it will open up the pop-up and you'll see the only universal render pipeline asset you have. Changing this render pipeline asset may take a significant amount of time. Continue. Then this will update to the universal render pipeline. If you have a lot of objects in your scene, a lot of things everything will be pink, most likely, magenta. And this is terrifying at first, but usually there's an easy fix for it. The easy fix is to go to Edit, Rendering, Materials, Convert Selected Built-in Materials to URP, or usually there's a Convert All, but it says Selected, so I'm going to try and select the material that we have on this object. don't know if I can select it since it is the default. But let's try. So edit, rendering, materials. Yeah, I can't since it is the default. So I'm actually just going to create, put that in our settings folder. I'm actually just going to create a folder for materials. And then I'll just create a new material to be my default URP. And then I can apply that to the cube and it fixes that. But if you have an existing material that you need to convert, you can select it and then go to Edit, Rendering, Materials, Convert Selected Built-in Materials to URP. And most of the time it will convert it, but some materials just can't be converted. All right, so with that, we have implemented the Universal Render Pipeline in a Unity project. Thank you guys for watching, and that is it.